4 habits that destroy your respect. What if I told you that most of the reasons people stop respecting you aren't dramatic failures, but tiny, almost invisible habits you repeat every single day? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." And that truth applies here. Respect is not lost in big explosions. It's lost in the quiet daily choices you don't even notice. Now, let me ask you, have you ever walked out of a room and wondered if people took you seriously, or felt the sting of being dismissed by someone who once valued your word? Respect rarely disappears overnight. It erodes. And if you're not careful, you might be the one eroding it. I know this because I've done it myself. Early in my career, I thought being likable was enough. Smile, agree, keep things light. But over time, I realized something brutal. Being liked and being respected are not the same thing, and the habits that keep you liked often rob you of respect. So today, we're exposing the 4 silent habits that destroy your respect. And I promise, once you see them, you won't unsee them. Stay with me, because at the end, I'll show you how one small Stoic shift can rebuild your reputation from the ground up. The first habit: gossip, the silent poison. Imagine this. You're in the break room at work. A colleague lowers their voice and says, "Did you hear what happened with Sarah?" Everyone leans in. You laugh, nod, maybe even add a detail. It feels harmless, just a little banter. But here's the hard truth. Whoever gossips with you will gossip about you. When I was in college, gossip felt like background noise. Who was dating who failed what exam, whose crush got exposed. It was entertainment. Until one girl, Sarah, became the target. Something private leaked, and within days she completely shut down. The way she withdrew, the way her shoulders sank when she walked into class, it hit me. Gossip is never just a story. It always leaves a scar. Epictetus was blunt about this. If you hear something, don't repeat it. If it doesn't concern you, don't say it. Gossip makes you look smaller, not bigger. And people may never call you out directly, but they notice. They wonder, if he talks about them like that, what does he say about me? So here's the shift. Replace gossip with substance. Talk about ideas, not people. Swap speculation for inspiration. The next time someone brings gossip to you, pause. Ask, how does this help us? That one question kills gossip faster than silence. Now, you might be thinking, but if I don't join in, won't I seem boring, out of the loop? Here's what most people get wrong. The person who doesn't gossip isn't boring, they're trustworthy. And trust is the foundation of respect. Stay with me, because the next habit erodes trust even faster. The second habit: being unreliable, the word that loses its weight. Have you ever noticed how quickly people stop asking favors from someone who always cancels last minute? It doesn't take long for your word to lose its weight, and once it does, it's nearly impossible to get it back. I learned this the hard way. A close friend, Emily, spent weeks planning her birthday party. I promised I'd be there, wouldn't miss it for the world. But the day came, I got distracted, and by the time I texted her, the party was already half over. She replied politely, but coldly, and I knew in that moment it wasn't just a party I missed, it was trust. Seneca once wrote, "Nothing is more valuable than the commitment of a person of integrity." Reliability isn't glamorous. It's not built on big promises. It's built on showing up again and again, even in small ways. Answering when you say you will. Delivering what you said you'd deliver. Being honest about your limits instead of overcommitting. Think about it. Talent can get you noticed. Charisma can make you liked. But reliability makes you indispensable. In the workplace, if people know they can count on you, you rise. If they doubt you, you fade, no matter how smart or skilled you are. So the next time you're about to say, "Yeah, I'll do it," pause. Ask yourself, can I truly follow through? If not,
It's better to say no than to say yes and fail, because every broken commitment is a tiny crack in your reputation, and enough cracks make the whole wall collapse. And here's the twist. Most people think reliability is about others, but it starts with you. If you can't rely on yourself, on your own discipline, your own standards, why should anyone else? Up next, I'm going to share a habit so subtle that you may not even realize you're doing it daily, but once you see it, you'll never unhear it again. The third habit, interrupting, when your anxiety speaks louder. Picture yourself in a meeting. You're brimming with ideas, eager to contribute. Someone else is talking, but you can't wait. You cut in. You think you're showing enthusiasm. What they hear is, "My words are more important than yours." That was me early in my career. I thought speed and energy would earn me respect. Instead, my manager pulled me aside and said something that stung. "You're always ready to talk, but rarely ready to listen." She was right. I wasn't listening. I was waiting for my turn to speak. Epictetus gave us a simple formula. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason to listen more and speak less. Interrupting isn't confidence. It's insecurity dressed up as urgency. So how do you fix it? Try this. When you feel the urge to interrupt, take 1 slow breath through your nose, then ask yourself, can this wait until they finish? 9 times out of 10, it can. And when you let them finish, 2 things happen. You understand them better, and they respect you more. Listening deeply is like a secret weapon. It makes you the calm one in the room, the steady one, the person others trust, not because you dominate, but because you understand. Now, if you've ever been told you don't listen, stay with me. The final habit we'll cover in this section is one that can quietly drain every ounce of respect you've built. And it's more common than you think.
The fourth habit, complaining, when negativity becomes your identity. We've all done it. Complained about traffic, about the boss, about the weather. It feels like release until it becomes your identity. Then people don't see you as the guy with a complaint. They see you as the complainer. There was a time when I complained constantly. If it rained, I grumbled. If it was hot, I groaned. If someone annoyed me, I vented for days. Until a friend finally said, "Man, it feels like nothing's ever good enough for you." At first, I got defensive. Then I realized they were right. I wasn't venting anymore. I was living in complaint mode. The Stoics were ruthless about this. They said, don't complain about reality. Transform what you can and accept what you can't. Marcus Aurelius put it bluntly. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Here's the test. The next time you want to complain, stop and ask, is this under my control? If yes, act. Fix it. Move. If no, accept it. Release it. That single question can cut your complaints in half overnight. And here's the hidden power. When you stop complaining, people feel lighter around you. They stop avoiding you. They start respecting you. Because positivity isn't naive, it's magnetic. So, let's recap. 4 habits quietly erode your respect. Gossiping, being unreliable, interrupting, and complaining. The good news? Every one of these can be flipped into strength, with integrity, with presence, and with conscious choice. But we're not done, because there's one deeper layer to all of this. Respect isn't just about how others see you. It's about how you see yourself. And in the next section, we'll explore how Stoic discipline can rebuild that inner respect
so that the world reflects it back to you. Stay with me, because the next habit I'll reveal may be the single most powerful shift you'll ever make for your reputation. Think about the last time you lost your temper. Maybe in traffic, maybe with a coworker, maybe at home. In the moment, didn't it feel like losing control was the only option? Like the anger was in charge, not you? I remember one morning when a project at work was falling apart. Emails were flying, deadlines missed, and my chest was tight with stress. I snapped at a colleague, someone who didn't even cause the problem. The look on his face said it all. My outburst didn't make me look powerful, it made me look weak. Marcus Aurelius left us this warning. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Losing composure is a signal that you've forgotten this truth. You've surrendered your power to circumstance. Most people get this wrong. They think composure means suppressing feelings. It doesn't. It means mastering them. Like a skilled pilot, you acknowledge the storm, but you keep your hands steady on the wheel. Here's a practice you can use today. When frustration hits, don't rush to react. Pause. Take a slow breath. Ask, what's in my control right now? That tiny gap, the space between impulse and response, is where respect is either lost or gained. Stay with me, because next we'll uncover a habit so subtle that most men never notice it's costing them influence every single day.
Have you ever caught yourself talking too much, justifying every little thing, adding more words to make your point stick? It feels like you're clarifying, but to others, it sounds like insecurity. I used to be guilty of this in meetings. A manager would ask for my opinion, and instead of stating it clearly, I'd pile on explanation after explanation. By the end, the idea sounded weaker than when I started. Here's the Stoic truth. Silence carries weight. Seneca said, "Speech is a mirror of the soul. As a man speaks, so is he." The more cluttered your speech, the more cluttered your mind appears. The fewer your words, the stronger they land. Try this. The next time someone asks for your input, give your answer in 1 or 2 sentences. Then stop. Let the silence work for you. It will feel uncomfortable at first, like you should fill the gap. Don't. Because in that gap, respect grows. What most people get wrong is thinking that being respected means being constantly heard. In reality, the most respected men are the ones who speak less, but with precision. And here's the twist. When you over-explain to others, you're often over-explaining to yourself. It's a lack of trust in your own judgment. Learning to trust your words is learning to trust yourself. Now imagine what happens when you combine composure with concise speech. You become unshakable on the outside and magnetic on the inside. But don't relax yet, because the third respect killer we're about to expose is one you probably reward in yourself every day without realizing the damage it causes. On the surface, being helpful looks virtuous, saying yes, making yourself available, always smoothing the edges for everyone else. But here's the hidden cost. People-pleasing erodes both your boundaries and your respect. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." In other words, you have to be willing to disappoint people in the short term to protect your integrity in the long term. I remember a boss I had who always asked for last-minute help, and every time I said yes, even when it wrecked my schedule. At first, I thought it made me look dedicated, but over time, it made me look desperate. Eventually, he stopped respecting my time entirely. Why would he? I hadn't respected it myself. Here's a practical drill. For the next week, say no to one thing every single day. Politely, firmly, without apology. Watch how people react. Some may be surprised. Some may even push back.
But slowly, they'll learn something new. Your time has value. And once they see that, their respect for you rises. What most men get wrong is thinking that rejection equals loss. In truth, rejection equals clarity. When you say no, you show people what you stand for, and more importantly, you remind yourself. And here's the cliffhanger. This next habit doesn't just cost you respect, it costs you presence. And if you don't fix it, people may never take you seriously again. Picture this. You're talking to a friend or a colleague, and halfway through your sentence, they glance down at their phone. How does it feel? Dismissive, disrespectful. Now flip it. How many times have you done the same without realizing it? You may not notice, but they do, and each glance chips away at the respect they have for you. Marcus Aurelius never faced smartphones, but his words cut right to this problem. Give yourself a gift, the present moment. Respect lives in presence. If your attention is split, your respect is split. Try this simple reset. The next time you meet someone, put your phone face down, or better yet, leave it in your pocket. Look them in the eye. Be fully there. You'll be amazed how quickly people lean into your presence when you stop leaking attention. Because here's the truth. Presence is rare, and what is rare becomes valuable. Now we've uncovered habits that weaken your composure, your speech, your boundaries, and your presence. But the real breakthrough comes when you connect these together, when you realize they're not separate problems, but symptoms of one deeper issue. And that's what we'll tackle next.
The Stoics didn't see philosophy as theory. They saw it as training. And every habit, good or bad, trains you into an identity. Gossip trains you into being untrustworthy. Complaining trains you into being negative. But integrity, discipline, and presence, those train you into a man people naturally respect. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Think about that. Most of the time, the fear of losing respect comes not from others, but from our own insecurity. Respect isn't given, it's recognized, and the only way to earn it is to embody it. So let's tie this together. Imagine a triangle. On the base is composure, your ability to master your reactions. On one side is clarity, your ability to speak and act with precision. On the other is consistency, your ability to show up as the same person again and again. That's the architecture of respect, and it's something you can build one habit at a time. Before we close this section, let me ask you, which of these habits, overexplaining, people-pleasing, or distraction, do you catch yourself doing most? Drop a comment below with a simple number, 1, 2, or 3. Not only will it help you lock this in, but you'll see that you're not alone in this battle. And if this is landing with you, hit that subscribe button. Every week we explore the Stoic practices that turn chaos into calm and pressure into power. Because in the final section, we'll uncover the single most powerful Stoic secret for building unshakable respect, not just from others, but from yourself. Stay with me. This next part alone could change the way you live your life. The truth is simple but brutal. People reflect back to you what you already believe about yourself. If you carry yourself like a man who doubts his own worth, the world mirrors that doubt. If you move through life with composure, clarity, and consistency, the world treats you accordingly. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Notice how internal this is. He didn't say, "If others won't like it, don't do it." He said, "Act according to your own standard." That's where respect is born. So here's the challenge. Before you demand respect from others, look in the mirror. Do you respect yourself, your word, your time, your standards?
Because every broken promise you make to yourself, every workout skipped, every project delayed, every boundary crossed, teaches your mind that your own respect is negotiable. And if you can't respect yourself, why should anyone else?
Let's turn this philosophy into practice. Here are 4 daily resets that will rewire how others see you. 1. The morning standard. Each morning, write down one standard you refuse to break that day. It could be, I will not complain once, or I will be on time for every commitment. Small, specific, non-negotiable. Keep it simple, keep it doable. 2. The listening drill. Every conversation today, practice finishing with, tell me more. It forces you to listen instead of interrupting. It makes people feel heard, and respect follows presence like a shadow. 3. The no muscle. Say no once every day. Decline an invitation, set a boundary, or simply refuse to overexplain. Each no is a rep that strengthens your respect. 4. The nightly audit. At night, review your day. Did you keep your word? Did you let complaints run wild? Did you practice presence? Marcus did this in his meditations. He ended his days with reflection, not guilt, but correction. Try these for 7 days. Watch what happens. Most men think respect is earned in big moments, a promotion, a speech, a confrontation. In reality, it's built in tiny, repeated choices. Let me share a story that shook me. A mentor of mine, a quiet man named David, once told me about his early career. He was overlooked constantly, passed over for promotions, ignored in meetings. He tried everything, working longer hours, volunteering for every project. Nothing changed. Until one day he stopped chasing respect and started embodying it. He stopped saying yes to everything. He stopped over-explaining. He listened more, spoke less. He delivered on every promise he made, no matter how small. Within a year, the same colleagues who once ignored him now asked for his opinion first. His boss, who once overlooked him, began trusting him with bigger responsibilities. And he told me something I'll never forget. When I stopped trying to be liked, I became respected. That's the Stoic path. Respect doesn't come from begging for approval. It comes from embodying standards so consistently that others can't ignore them. Let's boil this down into a simple formula you can carry with you. Respect is equal to composure plus clarity plus consistency. Composure. Control your emotions instead of letting them control you. Clarity. Say less, mean more. Consistency. Do what you say, every single time. You don't need to be the loudest. You don't need to be the smartest. You need to be the man others know they can trust under pressure, in conversation, and in commitment. And here's the payoff. Once you embody this, you won't have to ask for respect. It will be given naturally, because you've become the kind of person who commands it. Now you might be thinking, okay, I'll earn more respect at work, in my friendships, in my family. Great. But this is bigger than that. When you embody respect, you give others permission to raise their standards too. You set a tone in every room you walk into. You become the calm in the storm, the anchor people look to when everything else feels chaotic. That's leadership. Not barking orders, not demanding recognition, but silently, consistently living in a way that inspires others to rise. Marcus Aurelius, who led the Roman Empire through wars and plagues, reminded himself daily, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. In our context, the best way to earn respect isn't to demand it. It's to live in a way that makes disrespect impossible.
So here's your 7-day reset. Day 1, eliminate gossip. If someone brings it up, change the subject. Day 2, keep one promise, no matter how small. Day 3, let everyone finish their sentence before you speak. Day 4, replace one complaint with one action. Day 5, practice giving one short, precise answer without over-explaining. Day 6, say no politely but firmly to one thing. Day 7, go 1 full hour phone-free in every conversation. That's it. 7 habits, 7 days. Do this, and you won't just feel different. You'll see people responding to you differently. So let's return to the beginning. Respect isn't stolen in dramatic betrayals. It's lost quietly in daily habits, gossip, unreliability, interrupting, complaining, over-explaining, people-pleasing, distraction. Each one chips away at your image until one day you look around and wonder why no one takes you seriously. But the Stoics remind us we are not prisoners of our habits. We are the architects of them. And every day you choose which bricks to lay. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Your habits are the dye. Choose wisely, and you'll carry a presence that commands respect wherever you go. So I'll leave you with this question. Which habit will you replace first? Drop the phrase, "I choose self-respect" in the comments, not just as a declaration, but as a commitment to yourself and to the standards you'll live by from this day forward. And if this video gave you even one insight that shifted your perspective, subscribe to Stoic Insights 365. Every week we explore the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, not as abstract theory, but as tools to help you master pressure, earn respect, and find peace in the modern world. Because resilience is not born, it's built. And you, right now, are building it, one choice at a time. Until next time, stay steady, stay strong, and remember, the respect you seek from the world begins with the respect you show yourself.